what time it is. So I was in the middle of working on a project when I saw this free listing on Marketplace, so I went to go grab it. My mini assistant Jay wasn't home, so I did have to go alone, but I did wait until he returned so that we could unload it, because when it sells, he's gonna want to cut, so come put in some work. Most of the dresser was in pretty decent shape, except for the sides. Those were rough, but you know, there's nothing a little Bondo action can't fix. So I whipped it up, slapped it on, and while it dried, I removed my hardware and numbered the drawers. So the next morning, I was up bright and early to do some sanding. I don't know the exact name of this top, but it's not wood, and I knew it needed a good scuff sand if I wanted any type of paint to adhere. Mini assistant was still sleeping, so here I am doing his job once again. This is when I started to assess the piece and figure out what my target list price will be. It is a sturdy piece, but it's not solid wood, and that does make a difference. The drawer glides are great, but that backing is questionable and it'll need to be replaced. I knew I also wanted to give it extra height with legs or a custom base, so that plus the hardware and primer and paint, it does start to add up. Okay, so your surface is glossy, but you want your paint to stick. Get you some Ben Shellac primer. So heads black, tails green. Okay, so black it is. Sometimes it's really that easy. Don't spend too much time thinking about it. Just flip a coin and keep it pushing. I use a paint gun. If you use one, make sure you also get some paint strainers, because you don't want gunk or debris to get into your paint. It'll clog your gun, and then you guys are going to come running to my comments asking why your gun isn't working. It's because you didn't get some paint strainers. I'll dedicate a separate video to getting a flawless finish, but always scuff sand between every coat of paint. I use a 320 grit sanding block. I did decide to build a base. When I pick my wood, I like to pay attention to the wood grain, because I know when I apply my stain, it's going to enhance that detail, and I like to go for the cooler looking effect. If you don't feel ready to build a base, I do get it. You can always find some cheap options on Amazon. I don't know if you realize though, but I'm learning and growing with y'all in real time. So the more I do these, the better I get. I throw on that stain and you can see that wood grain popping through. And then another cheap and easy way to enhance your piece is just by finding a nice wallpaper to line your drawers with. It just gives it a nice pop. I did order hardware, but it never arrived, so I used what I had. I applied cabinet door bumpers to prevent paint from chipping. And finally, let's get rid of this hideous backing. I ran to my local hardware store, no more free plug. I grabbed smooth brown hardboard. I clamped the two boards together. I measured and marked the gap size that I wanted to fill, and then I used my oscillating tool to cut it, and then finally I secured it to the dresser with brad nails. Alright, so the moment I'm sure you've been waiting on. Just remember, she started off crusty, and here she is now, giving very modern and chic. I love the wallpaper. Even though this wasn't my first hardware choice, I do like it. It ties it all together. Between the primer, paint, base, hardware, and wallpaper, I did spend $115 and invested 6 hours on her. I listed her on Marketplace last night for $550. As of this morning, she has 17 saved, so we'll see if she sells. Okay, bye!